All right, so this applies to students both at audio production and video production because your activity 3 and activity 4 are exactly the same. And in that two activities, you're going to be creating a script that you need to read from. I can't emphasize enough, guys, that I'm more worried about you having some words to read than you having the perfect news or sports story. I have had students in the past spend way too much time trying to find the story about their favorite sports team or find just the funniest news story or something, and they spend so much time on their script, they never finish recording. So we want to do this as quickly and efficiently as possible so we can get to the fun stuff, which is actually recording our video or our audio of our podcast. Okay, so here we are at activity 3. By the way, normally copying things for schoolwork is plagiarism, but because you are not claiming credit for the news stories or trying to make money from your broadcast, this is considered an acceptable use of resources. Okay, so don't try copying things like this in social studies. That would be a bad idea. All right. If we scroll down, and it might look a little different, I think I'm in audio here, but in video, you should have these same news sources: Dogo News, Smithsonian Tween, Goofy News, a link to a weather thing, and a link to a sports thing. All right. Now, remember, you need 2 news stories because if you have a partner, you need a news story, your partner needs a news story. Same for sports, 1 for each partner. You're going to take the 8-day forecast and divide it in 2. So if we go ahead and click on these links, we can do this quite quickly, all right? But what we need first is a Google Doc. So if I just go to my thing here, click on Docs, blank doc, title it, Mr. Pat and Mr. Ellis. We'll pretend he's my script. He'll pretend he's my partner. So now I've got a blank document here. Oh, by the way, I should probably share it with my partner. Okay, there's Ryan Ellis, and maybe my teacher too. Obviously, I'm the teacher in this case. So, but you get the idea. You want to share it with both your teacher and your partner. What's kind of cool about this is if you share it with your partner, whoever's logged into the desktop computer, your partner can work on their Chromebook, which means you can get the script done twice as fast and get to that good stuff we were talking about, which is the fun part, the recording. Okay, so let's come back here. You know what? I'm going to go kind of backwards or start in the middle here at WFSB weather link. Okay, guys, don't try to copy videos. We need words. Look here, scroll down a little bit. Tonight, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I just highlight all of this, I'm holding down the button on my mouse, copy or Control C, come back to here, paste. I will say Mr. Pat, weather. And I'm going to do all the way through Sunday. And then Mr. Ellis, weather. I can even bold him. Get it? So now I've got a section for Mr. Pat to read this much weather. I got a section for Mr. Ellis to read this much weather. That's how fast we should be making our script. And by the way, notice how we're taking turns. I'm going, then he's going. All right? So now that I have the weather done, what'd that take? 90 seconds. All right? I can close that thing there. Let's go to the Dogo News. All right? 100-year-old monster fish caught in the Detroit River. That sounds interesting to me. I think we need a little more words than that. So I'm going to say read news article. And again, we don't want to copy the whole thing. Holy cow, that's a big fish. Look at that thing. Ye gads, it's as big as that dude. All right? But I'm going to copy maybe this much. All right? 2 or 3 paragraphs. Copy. Come back here. Paste. And I will again say, Mr. Pat, news. Maybe highlight that or bold that so that we know that that's where a new section starts, okay? Now, by the way, we don't want our script to be too long, so if I highlight all these words, click on Tools, there's a thing called Word Count. That's 180 words. Right there, it tells me this, okay? That's too much. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete that and check it again. Because in the instructions, it actually says It should be between 100 and 150 words. Guess what? 98, that's pretty close to 100. I'm going to let that go. If it's way less than 100, your news story is too short. If it's way over 150, it's too long. Okay? So that's a good one. Let's see. That was the monster fish story. Let's go to Smithsonian Tween. Let's see. Why do we sneeze? Yeah, none of these things are really speaking to me. You know what? Let's go for goofy news. Moose eats snow from the hood of a Maine woman's car. Now remember, video doesn't do us any good. We want words. So, a Maine woman who pulled over on a road, that's pretty interesting. I'm going to highlight this much. Now, unfortunately, sometimes you can't help but pick up copying a video or a photo in the middle. Sometimes that comes along for a ride, and then you have to delete it later. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, see this business here? I'm just going to delete that. Sometimes some of this stuff is super annoying. Let's see, where's the advertisement? Maybe I can make that go away. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So you might have to do a little bit of editing. All right, but pretty quickly here, way faster than I could ever type it. Go to my tools, word count. 128 words. Perfect. I like it. Okay. So there was Mr. Pat's news. Maybe this is Mr. Ellis's news. By the way, he would be making his own news, finding his own news story if we were partners. And maybe he's on his Chromebook while I'm here on my computer. But this is how you do it, guys. You go in, you click on the link, you copy it, you paste it, you organize it, and this should not take too long. Here, we'll go to sports real quick. Let's see, something about UConn women. There's hockey games. But again, we need to have words. Words, words, words. Football, basketball, baseball. Not as much sports as I'd like. There we go. Beijing Winter Olympics. Okay, so maybe I just copy these first two paragraphs or three paragraphs. Copy. Come back to my script. Down here. Paste. I think by now you should get the idea, yes? This is how fast it should be happening, folks. Don't spend a lot of time overthinking this. Don't worry about getting the perfect sports story or the perfect news story. Just get it done. Once you have two newses, two sportses, two weathers, then you can add your silly commercials that you're going to make up with your own little demented minds, okay? You can be fun, you can be cheesy, you can be silly, you can make stuff up, you can even bring in props as long as they're appropriate, okay? So that's where the real fun happens, but you can't do that until you do this, all right? So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea, some tips on how to make this script happen a little bit quicker so you can get to the fun recording part even faster. Good luck.